Yeah.
So, Ian, over to you.
Thanks very much. I'm going to very quickly talk, and I'm going to try and do two things at once, because I made some notes on my phone while I was here, so I covered all the bits, and I didn't have loads of words on the slides. Being an ICT teacher, I'm quite conscious and self-conscious when it comes to presenting, because if I end up with thousands of words on there, the kids that saw me would say, yeah! So there we go. So Python on Minecraft, I set up an after-school club, and I deliberately pitched it as a programming club, because I don't know about your school, but Minecraft is still huge at my school, and if I just said we're going to do some Minecraft, I would just emulate it. But I actually specifically wanted to do it on the Raspberry Pi using Minecraft Pi, which is a free version that they've produced for that. And a couple of lessons have come out of that, and then I'll talk about what we did in there. The first one is figure out what you're trying to teach first. I know that's really stupid of me to have to say that, but I sort of set off and thought, yes, we've got half a dozen Raspberry Pis, we'll get them in, we'll get them set up. What a stupid mistake. We spent the first 3 weeks setting up the Raspberry Pis, by which point it was starting to wane a little bit of interest. Thankfully, it did pick up once we got going, but do be aware of what you're trying to teach. I'm an ex-programmer, so I have quite a lot of technical background, and I'd forgotten just how much technical background. So when it came to, oh, we'll just quickly edit this. With what? How? I use what keys? Vi? What is this? And so that got a bit frustrating, so I got myself past that. And then the basic question of why Python? And I guess the answer would be why not, really. It seems to be the flavour of the day on Raspberry Pi. If you use any of those sorts of things, it's there. It's nice, it's interactive, it's got a scripting interface, or you can write classes and apps on there as you go along. So you've got lots of ways into it, and it's nice and it's portable, and it's sort of web friendly. Okay, so we got ourselves going. We finally got the Raspberry Pis up, we got Minecraft Pi installed and running, and the kids were delighted. So I had to peel them down off the ceiling and remind them we were here for programming. First steps, what do we do? Basic steps. If you're going to try and teach an after-school programming club, okay, so this is Key Stage 3 school, being Leicestershire. So we're not even heading for GCSE. We've just got Key Stage 3, years 7 to 9. So take it right back to basics. The most programming I've done with them is Scratch, Kodu, and a little bit of Inform. So it's all been quite visual. And suddenly we're in Python. We've got text editors, we've got syntax, colons, spaces in funny places, and it's really important. So take it back to basics. Think about your basic concept if you're programming. You need your selection, your iteration, your branching, loops, if statements, go-tos or go-subs if you're really feeling dirty, or at least subroutines if you're going to be nice about it. Get those basic concepts in there. And the big thing with Python, of course, is you can just be interactive on the command line. So you can run up a little idle shell, and you can instantly start talking to the Raspberry that's running Minecraft Pi. It doesn't even have to be from a Raspberry, you can do it from a PC. The way it works, you just open up the connection and start typing things in, making things happen, posting things on the chat window, putting blocks on the screen. Nice and immediate for them. They get the hang of it, they can start building simple little towers. Oh look, I've got a tower of TNT. Oh dear, rubber cover. Thankfully you can't blow up TNT on that one because it's based on Pocket Edition. Where do you go from there? You can start editing in a file, actually putting it together as a class or a program or just a collection of functions. You can start introducing methods to them so they're not just hacking it line by line. So start breaking it down and thinking about it and saying, well, this is a bit that builds a cube. This is a bit that builds part of a pyramid. There we go. So, here's just some simple ones, things that you can do in there. So the first thing that's going to appear is hopefully a nice solid cube. That's the Python code that runs it. So we've got 3 loops running because it's 3-dimensional. Builds the blocks, and it'll clear it back down. Next one that came up, a bit trickier, start thinking about it. It's a hollow cube. So we've got to think about edge conditions. There it goes. Okay. Next one again, still using simple loops. Even more complex this time, just a wireframe. So just the edges. That one's really took a while for some of them to sort of get their heads around how we're going in there. And then the last one, just to show off, because you can try and build a sphere. Which in a world of cubes doesn't actually come out that well, but it is honestly kind of spherical. There it is. Okay, so simple code really, not masses of effort in there, not difficult, it's the same sorts of things repeated. We're in 3 dimensions, so we've got coordinate geometry in there. If you're taking 2 spheres, then you're talking about circles and bringing equations in that way, so that's nicely done. And then if you're feeling brave, which I just about managed to get into with some of the higher year 9s there, you can talk about recursion. So rather than just having to constantly iterate over. So we started off and we built some towers, and that was nice, and then this one girl who's shown massive interest, which is brilliant. Sort of, what can I do now? So we'll use methods, and we'll make sure it wipes out, because we're using somebody else's human PC, we're using somebody else's Pi. so we'll clean up after ourselves. So we'll have a method that draws it and a method that then takes the opposite parameter and clears it out with air again. And then I said, well, how about a pyramid? So a smaller pyramid, getting bigger to smaller, or small to bigger, whichever way you want to draw it. And we thought about what the steps would be, what the size of each layer would be, because it's all cubes. So we've got 1 on the top layer, 9 on the next layer, so what size is it? Oh, it's 1 square, 3 square, 5 square, 7 square. Oh, it's the odd numbers, so brilliant, okay, here we go. So we built up the methods that way, and then I said, well, that's really iterative, because that's just a list of things all the same. If we made it a function, we could just say, build me a square of 3 by 3, build me a square of 5 by 5. Okay, but that we're done. Now, really, actually, what we could do is we could use this thing called recursion, where I just say, build me a pyramid of size 10, and it says, oh, I know that one, I'll build a square of size 10, and then I'll build a pyramid on top of it of size 9. And that says, oh, I know how to build a pyramid of size 9, I build this square, and then I'll just build a pyramid of size 8 on top of me. So it calls back to itself. So it's really, in programming terms, quite a useful sort of concept. If you've had to come across it at GCSE level, I imagine, and particularly A levels, you'd really sort of start to get into this kind of idea. But it's really good groundwork in terms of what you can do. And that's it, really, I am there. So, in terms of what you can achieve then, make it competition, you can have building races, so you can build their castle the fastest or something from classes. You can change the world around you, so you can actually create a portable platform underneath your character. So everywhere you move, you get a glass block under you, so you never fall. So you can then turn that into jousting, where you're chasing each other around the world, trying to knock the block away from under you. Or you can actually, one of my pupils has actually done that, build a portal gun. If you hit the sword on the ground, it creates a portal. If you jump through it, it comes out the other end. Thank you for listening.